Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and I guess we're gonna go through it. So we're gonna start out this live. I hope everyone is doing well, and feel free to let me know in the comment sections. Also, if you have any questions and desires and things of that nature, just let me know. But we're gonna talk about the absolute being the nothingness that we are, knowing that we don't have to add anything into the transcendental consciousness, but we are the reality manifested in the perfected timeline of this space-time continuum as enlightenment, as the metaverse, as the multiverse, as a way that you can be aware of your preferred awareness, of your preference, of your expression, of the things that you know about yourself and you know about life and you know about how you're manifesting the life that you really desire, and that you're on the steady incline and you're finding out how to project, how to make those intentions aware, and how to speak worlds into existence, but also how to be a channel for the balance of your energy and balancing out into the universe as an entity that wants more balance of love and light within itself, so that it knows more of the different configurations that are on this planet, but also changes the context of its own personality, changes the context of its own reality. Changing the continuity of what you're experiencing is changing the direction and the course of how it is going here and now. Because we are the nothingness. That's why there's always energetic clearing and healing and reception and acceptance within ourselves, so that we embrace the nothingness that is the absolute, so that we can add more within our vortex, so that we can be a living, breathing vortex of electromagnetic kinetic source energy. So generating that pulse, generating that electricity, generating energy, and finding a different pulse and finding out where you need to land and how you need to go about this experience right here and now, and be the essence of the experience, being the appearance of the experience, and knowing that you're the reason why everything is having power and polarity, and changing the polarity of positive and negative, but changing the causes and the effects themselves, so that they're able to discern how they are known, how they are aware, and what is truthful and what is an illusion that's more in vibrational alignment with what you want to bring forth within your existence. So understanding this is that we don't have to feel like we're nothing, because we are nothing. We feel like we're a physical specimen. We feel feelings, we think a lot of different things, and we feel like we have to force a lot of things within creation. And we don't really have to do that, but we have to embrace our non-physical essence and embrace the absolute reality that's realized within ourselves, and see how we can connect to the motherboard of creation, connect to our guides and our higher self, and connect to different realms and universes and parallel aspects of ourselves. And now that we're vibrating all at once and we have very different interconnected frequencies, that we're able to feel into oneness and feel inseparable, and that we don't really have to separate ourselves anymore, because we already feel inseparable towards creation. So therefore, if we feel inseparable, if we feel the love and the peace and the generosity and the gratitude and the attitude of what we are as a whole, then we are able to see and discern and understand what we're experiencing here and now. So it doesn't mean that you have to know yourself in this moment, but it means that you have to accept yourself and you have to love yourself. And you have to embrace that the nothingness is all that we have to face as a reflection of creation. Understanding that we can't understand how we see that we are not a physical thing. We are not a heart that beats. We're not a brain. We're not eyes. We're not ears. We are none of these things. But when we incarnate here, we encompass upon a vessel that we're able to live out this human experience, and to experience the things that we really need to, and understand the catalyst, and understand all the suffering, and understand all of the inner conflicts and the wars that go on spiritually. So we're here for a reason. We're here to live out this life progression. And that's why it's called a progression, because it's not a regression. So we're never going back, and we're probably, some of us are never going to come back here again. Some of you will. But it's understanding that making the most of this moment is becoming that absolute reality that's pure perfection, pure bliss, and pure state of the highest density of consciousness to where you initiate into next universe. So, but it's understanding how we can live in before creation and after creation. Meaning that the before creation is before we awakened, and now the after creation can be how we awakened here and now. So we understand that we don't have to feel that we don't have to judge, we don't have to ridicule, we don't have to listen, we don't have to be, but we just have to be present. And we don't have to feel as if we are a person with problems, that we are a person with issues, that we are a person with illnesses and sicknesses and condemnation or poverty. And we don't have to feel that way anymore. That's why the nothingness is absolute, because you're allowing yourself to exit out of that distorted realm, let go of those toxins, let go of those limiting beliefs, let go of those attachments. But literally in this moment, you feel the essence of source energy within your being. You feel the essence of who you are. You know that you are the universe at large. You know you are the world at large. And if you see yourself becoming God, if you see yourself becoming source, your own genuine source of energy, then you literally allow yourself to be the energy that pulls into the direction of you attracting what you want and what you need and what you desire, because what you want and need are at the same thing. So it's not about rejection within self, but it's about reception. It's about acceptance between everything. Acceptance of your life, acceptance of the here and now, acceptance of the presence, and imagining your dream life into oneness here and now. And if you allow yourself to think that way and be the essence of that channel, then the channel will have no other choice but to embrace the absolute nothingness. Because that's what we're all facing here and now on the spiritual journey. We're facing the nothingness so that we can be grounded. We're facing it head on. We're looking at ourselves. We're dedicated to our meditative craft. And we're dedicated to our abilities to be able to give. But we have to, in order to instill that love and instill that truth and understand what that actually means in actual compassion, in order to really understand it as a whole. But you don't have to understand everything. You don't have to know yourself. But if you accept yourself and you realize that you are nothing, and you realize that by being nothing is being absolute in the illusion of your own simulation, of your own world, of your own divinity, of what you're projecting out into the world here and now, then that means that you're a constant channel of constant awareness. It's a preference, it's a preferred state of living, it's an expression that you have with it. So it allows you to express yourself in a way of fluidity, of non-duality, and an understanding that when we choose to be the nothingness, we are choosing to be perfection. But we're not being a perfectionist. Now, some of you might be perfectionists and it might work for you. But it means that perfection doesn't have to be something that you act like, or power, or trust, or empowerment. It doesn't have to be something that you act like. But it can be something that you just are. And it's something that you live out. And it's something that you hold yourself to a specific standard, or routine, or lifestyle. So I'm not really a lifestyle coach or anything like that, but your life can have its own style. Your life can have its own flavor. The way that you manifest can be the way that you are supposed to manifest. Everybody has different abilities. But everybody's coming to this understanding that they are the reality beyond space and time, beyond comprehension, beyond the understanding of who we really are as that divine truth, becoming fully realized as the ascended master within. So the absolute nothingness is when we embrace the nothingness, because that's the state of purity that allows us to let go, that allows us to release, that allows us to transmute, so that we can have the transfiguration of the soul, which is us becoming more of that spiritual mass within ourselves. Understanding that will let us see that we are spiritual mass, we are the mass of that creation, of that I am presence. And I am because you are, and you are because I am. meaning that I am makes you everything. So like when you say I am this and I am that, it's not that you're saying that I am this and I am that. It's I am that I am. And it's I am because you are and you are because I am. It means that you are what you're professing. It means that you're prophesying what you are. So I've always talked about on these lives where we are living a prophecy. We are living a prophecy that's been set before us. And it's a lot like the stories in many different philosophies and many different religions and many different things that we're experiencing, but it's also even in the meditation space where everybody has a journey that's set before them. We're all clearing past lifetime regressions. We all have different sort of relationships, and we all have different ways to meditate and different giftings and different things that we had to go through in order to be a leader. So, and like many people in history, they've embraced this nothingness. Edgar Casey, Joan of Arc, even like George Washington was guided by the angels and was protected and didn't have a bullet shot on him. So a lot of us have embraced the nothingness in our own way. And a lot of us have obtained the absolute or have experienced it or have experienced source in such a very vivid way that if we didn't do anything else tomorrow, that's what we experience. I'm not recommending to do that, but sometimes it's just the experiences that we have in life that can be so profound and so beautiful and so filled with the things that we really need and the people that we really need and even the animals that we have in our life are very special. I noticed this life progression that I've had. I've always had two animals in my life. No matter if I lived with my family before, moved in with my roommate, he had two pets, and then now I'm with my girlfriend, there's two pets. So there's always been a two-pet dynamic, and I probably knew those animals in different lifetimes, and they were there to, show affection and love and supposed to live out that progression. So we all have a reason to be who we are. We are who we are because we have been called to the path. It's a calling because we're hearing that ringing in our ears. We're getting those prophetic visions. We're getting information for people that we don't even know that we might walk down the street and give a prophetic word to somebody. So the prophecy is always happening. And that's why when we're, talking or when we're doing meditations and we're getting people to really open up and to experience source in their own way, it's about how they experience source. It's not about what we delivered so that they could experience source. But source was working through you to them and was working through them as an energetic exchange. So we're here energetically to exchange and to impart and to give. And it's funny because there's so many people who are gifted in many different walks of life, no matter if they're like a basketball player or a musician or a scientist. Everybody's gifted and they have their life progression, but it does not mean that we can't appreciate all walks of life and all walks of gifting and anointing. It means that we actually can, because everybody is consciousness. It's like with quantum physics, it's like with anything that we're experiencing. If you're watching TV shows and you start to see that come into your life, everything is energy, everything is consciousness, everything is the nothingness that we're becoming. And this is the time of the Great Awakening. It's happening, it's here, it's now, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing what we're experiencing here and now. But we all have to face the nothingness, because if we don't, then how are we supposed to become really who we are and be a leader and be someone that loves and that gives love endlessly, that sacrifices its lies and its ego and its deceit, and even sacrifices material things but in a way that's balanced, not in a way that's imbalanced. Being completely on point, being completely on, turned on, meaning that your light switch isn't dimmed or your light isn't dimmed. Even though I don't think our light ever dims, I just feel like it only really gets brighter and really gets more alive and intense and visceral, so that we're able to contain it all in one vessel, because that's embracing the soul. So that's what it means to really embrace the soul. And I think understanding that, when you really embrace the soul and really embrace your path and really embrace the here and the now, you have no other choice but to face oneself, so that you can find the oneness and the abundance in embracing the nothingness of that absolute reality. So therefore, to become absolute is to separate the inseparability, is to see that the illusion is to see God in oneself, to see Source in oneself, to understand Source, and to see that you're here to take that waltz with Source, and that's what's meaningful. No matter what happens in your life, life is unpredictable. That's why we can't force and control the outcome. That's why we can change it. That's the kicker. It was funny, I said this on my last slide, but I'll say it again. I was watching this movie, Immortals, and it had Superman in it, Henry Cavill, and this other lady who was a high priestess. And he said to the high priestess, he was like, your gift is kind of like a double-edged sword, because you know the future, but you can't really predict the exact outcome or control the exact outcome. But we have the ability to change it, or change how it manifests itself, or how we attract it, or the certain patterns that we have within our lives. And being able to be more powerful, but to ask more out of ourselves and see how Source can really bless us in the way more than we can bless ourselves. So a lot of the time there's so much confusion, disorientation in the world, lack of obedience or lack of drive or worthiness, because we're always basing everything off of the negative, or basing everything on just what we see. Sometimes it's about what we don't see. Sometimes it's about what we don't know. And sometimes it's about, are we really asking the questions, the preferred questions, the questions that we need to do the things that we do, and to look at it in a way that it's not skewered and it's not scatterbrained, or it's not coming from a place of vanity or ego, but really looking at it and seeing that once I face the nothingness, then what is left? And I made a similar video about this, but if you have already faced the nothingness, what is left? And I think that's a question that we should all ask ourselves. What is left when we get to the end of ourselves? I don't think there's really an end, but I do think there's an end where we are more balanced in our energy. But I do think there's really an end, but I do think there's an end where we are more balanced in our energy. But I do think there's always going to be stuff to clear. But I do believe that we are infinite in our nature, that we are continuous, and the world will never really cease to exist unless the light of Source came down and it just went in a flash. But because of grace, because of understanding, because of love, that hasn't happened yet. And I don't think it will. I think Source loves us too much. I think Source wants us to be a guide. And I think Source wants us to be on this planet so that we can be way showers, demonstrators, grid workers, psychic intuition, to be able to impart it. And there's still a lot of people who don't understand, and I think it'll take about 10 or 20 years to really understand what the Great Awakening really was. But if you notice that in times of need and times of struggle, when people really need help, they will call upon you, even if they don't take you as serious as you take them. But they always call upon the one who has awakened, because we are interpreters of energy, we know what energy is, and we are able to understand what psychic protection is. But that's just an analogy to understand we're being called to something. We're living a prophecy. We're living in a divinity. We are becoming the absolute nothingness. And if we become that, then we can become the vehicle of creation and the vortex of this universe, so that we can bring about that electromagnetic kinetic source energy. So that we can allow everybody to be known, once again, for their own divinity. So who's ready to be nothing? Even though we are that. We are just a soul. A soul is not physical, but a soul lives on and lives on and never really dies. It's something, another movie that comes to mind, Braveheart. I remember in my roommate's room, his dad had a picture in there that he put in their room of Mel Gibson, and it had the Braveheart movie. And it said, not every man dies, but not every man really lives. So maybe physically on this planet we do, but do we really live in the moment presently, understood now? So that's something that you can contemplate and think about. Are we really living? Are we really living in this moment? Are we really living our best lives? And now when I say that, I don't mean, riches and private jets. I mean just being happy, loving life, loving others, being good at the life progression that's been laid before you. I guess something to think about. But we're going to do a meditation. So if you want to take part in this meditation, feel free to do so. This is White Wolf. You can also book private sessions with me. I do have a 40-minute special for $100 and 1-hour session for $200. And also, if you want to discuss pricing as well, if I need to go lower, if you can't afford that, just let me know. I'll work with you. And I'm going to try to do live readings tonight. I'm going to be doing readings, healings, activations. I'll be doing $20 donations for that. So I hope everyone's doing well. We're going to do a meditation. Feel free to take part in this meditation and tap into your heart and tap into your mind and tap into the spirit. Everybody take a deep breath. Exhale. And you are going to step into the absolute reality. The reality of manifestation by thought, by snapping your fingers and making everything appear, to generate miracles, to be able to channel your energy with levitation, seeing yourself do the psychic intuition, but at a more advanced scale. So this is the reality where we reach 8th density. This is where we are the soul completely. It means that we've transcended the human condition, that we've experienced everything that we need to experience on this planet, and now we're migrating into next universe. So to experience the absolute reality is to experience God completely within your space. And to embrace the nothingness is to embrace the soul. It's to embrace the soul that has nothing attached to it, no toxins, no distortions, no negative past lifetimes. There's no darkness, there's complete, just utter light. So this is where we've accumulated spiritual mass completely. This is where we've completely balanced our energy centers. And this is where we resonate from that electromagnetic kinetic source energy. And that we are fully connected with our guides, our higher self. And it means that we're able to transverse between space and time as well. That means that we're able to jump timelines, that we're able to time travel, if we will. And that we are able to literally design the reality that we want to experience. Literally, that we are in the astral projection of creation. This is where we become the heart of the universe. Where you are able to do everything that you want to do. There is no pain, there is no suffering. You have sacrificed everything already to encompass this reality. But we're just giving ourselves a taste of what it might be like to really do this. To live the prophecy laid before us, to complete every prophecy, to complete every story, every timeline, every experience, every relationship, all the times where we didn't have money, and to really feel the Creator through us, to feel as if you are the Oracle of Bloodline Wisdom. This is where you don't think about how you look. You don't think about your thoughts or your emotions or your feelings. There's nothing of a negative essence in this absolute reality. You've already experienced before creation, and now you're experiencing after creation. But in this term, it's not that you're incarnating on Earth and experiencing that. You've already went through all that, and then now this is where this is your own metaphysical heaven, if you want it to be. This could be some of your happy places. This could be what you meditate upon every single day. But the only thing that matters is that you resonate here. You are here. You are now. You are eternal. And you are forever. And you get to choose what you get to experience. You get to choose what you experience here and now. There are no limitations. There is no lack, there is no hatred, there's no judgment. But there is only existential ecstasy here. So the question is, what do you want to do? What type of existence do you want to live? Do you want to be the essence of every moment? Do you want to be the reason for the appearances? Do you want to be the reason for the meditative state? Do you want to exist as that existence? choosing it, accepting it, and allowing that to resonate in your heart. That nothing can separate you from it, nothing can take you away from it. That you've literally just shattered the hourglass and you found the fountain of youth. So therefore, you've opened up the doors. You've opened up every gateway. You are the realms that you immerse yourself in. You have fully aligned to the monad, the I Am Presence, the brothers, sisters, / cousins, and daughters that are in different realms, different planes, different universes than you are. And you've aligned to 12 aspects of the I Am Presence, fully. That means everything is in complete encapsulation of enlightenment. Different, complete stimulations that you've never experienced. Since you have fulfilled the prophecy, that means you are the prophet fully realized. But since you've experienced this beautiful absolute reality, bring all of that energy, all of that nothingness, all of that grace, wisdom, intuition, psychic atomic energy. And in this moment, let's just bring it here on Earth. Reciprocate it. Don't forget it. Don't let go of it. Know that it is yours. Claim that power that was taken away from you. Reclaim your higher self, your highest vibration, and the highest love and the highest light of the Oracle of Loveline Wisdom. Everyone take one last deep breath. Exhale. And just for a moment, have you really lived? Can you say that for a fact? That I have really lived. I have lived 1,000, a billion existences. But this one is the most preferred. This one was the most in alignment. This one was the most purified. And it's because I chose to transcend the human condition completely. and so it is. Oh, if I invited you, that was probably last night. I didn't mean to do that. I do that sometimes because I'm clicking stuff, so if I bothered you with that, I apologize. But that was the meditation. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Thank you for being a part of the message and the meditation. I hope it was beneficial for you, and just realize that we're all facing the nothingness within ourselves. We're all facing that direct experience of knowing ourselves. We're facing off that dark night of the soul and reclaiming our power and bringing that power to the earth so that we can transcend this human condition here and now. So thank you guys. Book private sessions. Contact me on TikTok. I'll send you contact information. Text me, email me. And also, I have a YouTube channel, White Wolf the Oracle. And I'm going to be going live at 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, doing live readings. The donations tonight will be $15 to $20. So feel free to take part in that. And see you then. This is White Wolf. God bless, and namaste.